Like, my eye is literally on fire right now. What is up, you guys? For today's video, we are going to be doing another look using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Bloodlust palette. And if you'd like to see my original review on this palette, I'll have it linked in the description box down below for you. But with that video, I just did not like this palette, and I had a really bad experience with it. It made my eyes itch and burn, and overall, it was just a hot mess. And today, I wanted to try out different shadows to see if I have the same problems. And also, I just wanted to see, you know, what are the purples about? Because in my original review, I did not even use purples, and I said I love purple, and you guys know, like, purple is my favorite color, so I wanted to try it out again and focus more on the pinky purple shades. However, before we jump into it, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like. And also, if you'd like to check me out on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kit, where I post a bunch of my tutorials over in there if you're looking for some inspiration. So first things first, we are going to be priming our eyelids using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. And I know in my other videos, some people were saying I was having problems with this palette because of my eyeshadow primer. But honestly, I use this primer, you know, with my Jawbreaker palette, which is one of my all-time favorite Holy Grail Ride or Die palettes, as well as with my Blood Sugar palette and my Blue Blood one. And I don't have problems with those palettes with this primer, so I don't really want to flip it out. And also, I feel like if I flip my primer, I wouldn't be giving it a fair shot because this is what I normally use. So once you have those babies primed, now we can jump into using this palette. And I gotta say, so many of you guys are calling me out my last video saying, Breyonna, you said you loved purple eyeshadow, and then you went in with the blues and the greens. And I know, like, that was so random and so weird. But the thing though is everybody was doing a purple eyeshadow look, and I was like, I really want to do something different. And I love that Vile Serpent shade, so I was like, we have to use it today. And I don't know, I just wanted to do something a little bit different. And I know it was so funny watching that. I was like, why did I say that and then go in with those colors? So today we are going to be going in with the purples because, man, like, they are so beautiful in the pans. And the first one that we are going to be going in with is this really pretty, like, brighter lavender shade, and it's called Vivid Mood. So using this Luxie 205 tapered blending brush, I'm going to be applying this right into my crease, and then doing these little circular motions to blend it upwards towards my brow. And I'm also using it to round out my outer V. On the first initial application, like, the pigmentation of the shadow is really pretty, but I do want to go in with a second layer just to see if we can build this baby up. And again, I am just going to be applying it into my crease and then doing these little circular motions to blend it upwards towards my brow. So once you have that applied and blended out, the next shade that we are going to be going in with is the deepest purple in the palette called Blood Queen. And that is one thing I do want to say though, is I wish that there was more, like, jewel tones in this palette and just, like, really rich colors. I feel like it would have really pulled in that whole, like, royal theme, whereas this palette definitely looks very pastel. So the brush that I'm going to be using is a BH Cosmetics No. 8 brush out of the Lavender Luxe set. And what I'm going to do is take this brush the long way, so a horizontal way. And then I'm going to be applying Blood Queen right into my crease, as well as into my outer V, and then doing these little circular motions to blend it upwards. Ooh, she pigmented though, like, that was one dip. I'm just gonna go in with a second layer just to see if we can build this baby up a little bit, because on this channel, we love our shadows super crazy pigmented and just overall giving us a nice blend. But, like, man, like, that color though is literally my favorite shade of purple, and I am obsessed with it. Like, dang, like, that color is absolutely stunning. So I literally just got done applying Blood Queen to my other eye, and oh my gosh, like, my eyes are so itchy right now, especially this one that I've had it on longer. Like, oh my gosh, like, I literally want to go like this and, like, itch it out, because I can feel exactly where I applied Blood Queen. And mind you, my brushes are not scratchy. I use these ones, like, every week. I use them all the time in all of my tutorials, so I definitely know it is not my brush, nor is it my eyes. Like, my eyes are not irritated right now. They actually felt just fine before I applied these. And I don't know what's up with this palette, but, like, oh my gosh, I just want to go like this. And I don't know, like, I don't know how I feel about this palette, because I remember in my other video, people were saying that they did have problems with the mattes kind of irritating their eyes, especially the purples. And I was like, matte shadows never do that to me. But, like, I don't understand why I'm having a problem with the mattes. And, like, I can feel it, like, start getting, like, slightly hot, like, right in here. But man, like, I do not know how I feel about that, because the Mini Breaker palette, the Jawbreaker palette, the purples in those, and even the Alien palette, they don't make my eyes itch. So I don't know what is up with this palette, but, like, something definitely changed. Aside from that though, I will say these two shadows have been so nice to work with. Like, they are super pigmented and very easy to blend out. I'm so impressed with that Blood Queen shade. Like, it gave me no harsh lines, and it was so easy to build up and blend out, because a lot of times Jeffree's purples are not my favorite. Like, I find them very hard to work with and very tricky to blend out, but this one has been so nice so far. But again, at the same time, it did make my eyes itchy, so do keep that with a grain of salt if you do get this palette. But with that though, off camera, I'm just going to quickly cut my crease and then I'll be right back. So once you cut that crease and the base is 100% dry, now we can start working on the lid. And the shade that I really want to go into is this absolute beautiful pink shade called Pink Magic. Like, it literally looks like magic in the pan. It's like a darker pink with all of this like shine and glitter to it. And I will say though, I am so hesitant to use it because this green right here is the one that gave me so many problems last time. It literally made my eyes burn like crazy. And in the pan, they look like they have this similar formula. So I'm hoping that they're different, but we're gonna try it out anyways. I'm crossing my fingers right now that this shadow works for me because it is so beautiful in the pan and I don't have anything like it in my collection. But what I'm going to do is take this little damp flat shader brush and start packing it on the outer third of my lid. And also, I do want to say is that my brush is dampened with water. I don't use setting spray. I know a lot of people do, but I prefer using water because I find that sometimes with setting sprays, it can kind of change the texture of the shadows. So I just definitely prefer using it this way. But wow, that did absolutely nothing. And I don't know if it's because you're not supposed to use a brush and you're supposed to use your finger, but again, I don't have a problem with my other Jeffree palettes using a brush, so I don't know what is up with that shadow. Since people in my other videos said I should use my finger, I'm going to try that out the second time. Oh yeah, like the finger definitely made it a little bit more like pigmented looking, but I will say like in the pan, it looks a lot darker than it does like when you apply it. But like, wow, like that sheen is absolutely beautiful. So after cutting my crease, as you can see, I have this really harsh line going on and we need to get rid of that because it is not cute. So what I'm going to do is take this angled brush from Moda Brushes and I'm going to be packing on Blood Queen right on that harsh line. Like I'm really like pressing it in and then afterwards I am flicking it inwards to blend it in. So when applying this Blood Queen shade to the outer V, I'm having a problem with it looking like really patchy and just being really hard to work with. I don't know if you can see, but it's like lifting up right in here. And also it is like giving me this weird oxidized line right when it hits the shimmer. And mind you, the shimmer was 100% dry before I applied this on top. I waited like a half hour because I went and got something to eat for lunch. But I'll show you like how I'm trying to like fix it is I'm just like packing this shadow on. And when I'm doing this too, I am pressing it. And you can see it just doesn't want to correct itself, and then also it's like starting to lift in certain spots and it's just looking overall really uneven. So once you have that done, the next shade that we are going to be going in with is this really pretty shimmery lavender shade called Take the Crown. And then using a different flat shader brush dampened, I'm going to be applying this to the rest of my lid and then slightly overlapping it with that Pink Magic. Okay, but like my eye is burning so bad from that shadow. Like it reminds me of that green shimmer. Like it is so hot feeling and it feels like almost like rashy in a way. It feels like really scratchy. I just am not a fan of that shimmer. Like I thought it was gonna be Pink Magic that was gonna do it to me, and then I was like, oh, now we're on the clear, maybe when I use this one it'll be fine, but nope. Like my eye is literally on fire right now. I feel like I sound like one of those late night commercials or like one of those like infomercials that are for like creams or like prescriptions, and they're like, if you experience itching, burning, or a rash, please discontinue use. Like that is literally how I feel right now. And off camera though, I'm just gonna quickly clean things up a little bit as well as apply my complexion products, and then I'll be right back to finish the look. So here's where I'm at right now after applying my complexion products, and now we're going to start working on the lower lash line. And at first I really wanted to do a red lower lash line because it literally looks so cool, but I just recently did that with my Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette review, so I'll have that linked in the description box down below for you in case you're interested in seeing that because it really looks super awesome. But today I actually want to go in with maybe like the mauves in this palette. I really like this like deeper one called High King, so we're gonna go in with that. And then using this Luxie 231 small tapered blending brush, I'm just going to be popping this right underneath the lower lash line, doing these back and forth motions. But man, like that color is super pigmented. I don't know what is in these shadows, but like man, like that one did it to me too, where my eyes feel like really itchy and like irritated. It isn't as bad as like what Blood Queen did to me, but it is definitely making my eyes itch. And then once you have that lower lash line all nice and smoked out, the next thing that we are going to be doing is my absolute favorite part, which is the inner corner highlight. And the shade that we are going to be going in with is this really pretty sparkly baby pink shade called Wet Jewel. And then using this BH Cosmetics number 10 brush out of the Lavender Luxe set, I am going to be packing the shit out of this color into my inner corner. And I'm also bringing it underneath the inner tear duct area to open up the eye. But yeah, so here's the finished look using the Bloodlust palette for the second time, and I gotta say this time around I had so much better of an experience overall. The shadows were so much more pigmented and a lot easier to work with, and you know, I actually really do enjoy doing these videos where we try out a palette a second time, you know, especially when my first review wasn't so favorable towards it and I had a lot of problems with it, and I just wanted to see, you know, is it the shadows that I used that time, or would I have problems, you know, if I used different shadows, and I just wanted to see kind of what was up because I've heard really mixed reviews on it. At the end of the day, I actually really enjoy the look that I got. I think it's super fun and super cool looking, and the only eyeshadow that gave me any problems today was Blood Queen. It was really nice in the crease, but in this outer V, it just looks really chunky, and it was just really hard to blend, and it got a little bit patchy. But other than that, the other shadows were super pretty, super pigmented, and overall really easy to work with. Even though I had a great experience this time around with this eyeshadow palette, I definitely stand behind my original review because in that video I used so much different of shades than this time around, and that's what I purposely did to give me a better idea of it. But at the end of the day, you know, this eyeshadow palette makes my eyes itch and burn, and because of that, I still don't recommend it to you guys. And I know that's gonna make some people upset because, I mean, the look turned out, it looks really cool, and also with my original review, that one turned out too. But, you know, I don't want to recommend something that could potentially hurt your eyes, and, you know, even my own, I'm not gonna be using this palette again because I don't want something in my collection that could, you know, harm my eyes, because you only get 2 eyes in your lifetime, and you don't want to wreck those. So for me, I don't recommend this palette. I love the look that I got. I think it's really beautiful. And if you'd like an alternative to this palette that will give you the pinky purple goodness, I would recommend the Morphe 39S Such a Gem palette. That palette to me is absolutely beautiful. The purples and the pinks in there are so gorgeous and so easy to work with. Like, truly, it is one of my all-time favorite palettes. And if you're looking to support Jeffree, I would recommend the Jawbreaker palette or the Blood Sugar palette. Both of those are some of my all-time favorites. I really enjoy the Jawbreaker because it's a rainbow goodness palette, and the Blood Sugar palette is really awesome if you really enjoy reds. So I do want to end this video on a positive note, so in the comments down below, let me know what your favorite eyeshadow palette is right now. For me personally, it is the Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 1. Like, seriously, that palette is so cool, and you can just do so much with it, and if you're like me and you love purple, it has a ton of purple to it. But yeah, so if you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a like. And also, if you'd like to check me out on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kin. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!